don't know why it does that. Welcome in. I hope you guys have been having a good day. I'm using one of my other wrapping tools. I really don't feel like looking for the other ones. It's act like it don't even want to go in. Oh, come on. Let me lay it flat across here and push it down. It's being very naughty. So this should get it. Oh, come on. Thank you. It's usually not that hard. Don't normally have a hard time with it. And this is our cast on pig right here. We're starting a new one. This needs to go on the outside. Nope, loosen it up some. I mean on the inside. All right. So we're gonna do our cast on. Push all those down. Turn it back around. Wrap this in the second time. I don't remember. Cause if I don't, then that'll that'll shrink on that side a little bit. So I think this yarn winders getting on my nerves. I think I want to pull out. I don't like this. I want to pull this out. I had this in my pocket. And now this getting on my nerves. I don't know what I did with my other wrapping tool. Um, and then this not acting right either. Let me try to use this stick to take it down in there. I already know what I can use, but I don't want to do it. Crap, come on. I had such a hard time. I tell you what, we did that too. Now let's just do this. Problem solved. Alright, now put this back on the inside. Pull the screen down through. Start back wrapping. Sorry. This feel funny too. I guess I'm having a sensory overload today. I do with this sander. Come on. Come off. Welcome in. If you are watching, I am Doe. I typically go live with loom knitting. That is my specialty. I'm just trying to get the border done for right now. I'm doing 7 of these panels. I have 3 done so far. I'm not supposed to push that down right now for it to do the garter stitch. And the garter stitch consists of, if you're not familiar with it, is the purl stitch and E-stitch combination or true knit stitch combination. No, it's purl stitch and E-stitch. You can probably do the true knit stitch too, but it'll be tighter than an E-stitch. And right now I'm doing the purl stitch. And that'll make 2 garter stitches. Now I can push all the stitches down because this is an E-stitch row. And feel free to ask any questions that you may have that pertains to loom knitting. Hi, Maria. How are you doing this evening? I am making flat panels to a baby blanket. I wanted to do it different this time. I normally just do the blanket all in one sitting, but I was trying to get like a vertical design instead of horizontal, so I decided to do it in panels. I don't understand why you're mad, Maria. I said hi. That's not really a question that you asked, so I don't understand. But I digress. So can't do anything about that. Did I count? Let me see. This is one, two, three. Yeah, I counted it. I got that crochet song stuck in my head right now. And I know I'm not crocheting, but I do crochet on the side, so it's stuck in my head, you know. Uh-oh. The hook kind of slipped out my hand that time. Hi, Vanetta. Thank you. It reminds me of red velvet, and I want like red velvet cake so much every time I work with it. All right, that's four. This will be 5 I'm working on. Sometimes you gotta say it out loud because if you don't, you'll forget. Hey, your local three MO kid. How are you? I'm making I'm making panels, flat panels to mattress stitch together for a baby blanket. I'll push that one down. It's supposed to stay up. All right, and that makes 5. As I get to 7, then I'll be able to like speed up a whole lot. And I don't know why I keep dropping stuff. I've been dropping stuff all day. I think it's the same one. I think this is the same baby blanket. I've been working on it on and off um for for about 2 weeks maybe. So it's just if you were here last Saturday, yeah, or probably the Saturday before. I don't really remember when I started to be honest anymore. I'm always making something, and my brain is stuck on crochet right now because I'm trying to get something done, and it's making me mad. I'm working on a project, and it's like irritating the heck out of me. Thank you, Finetta. I'm making a baby blanket. I'm making panels to sew together for a baby blanket. It's just something I'm doing in my spare time. Um I wanted to try something different. So I wanted to try something different and see how it turns out, and I just hope it turns out right. Because right now I'm not feeling the vibes right now. Not really. I it's the issue is that I have other projects like I do custom, and that's really the issue. And so I only have time to work on the blanket on live. So it won't necessarily take forever. Um, you know, it depends on. I mean, if you feel like it is forever. For me, it don't feel like forever because I'm used to working on like blankets, and the beginning of the project takes forever for me. So I typically work slow. So this is nothing. But maybe a couple of maybe added maybe 3 or 4 hours, but that doesn't bother me. I'm making a baby blanket. I'm making panels to make a baby blanket, and though that fell off, I gotta put that back on. So yeah, I don't really like to think about like forever and all that stuff because I already have ADHD, and so projects taking a long time really bother me. So I'm the drive really is to like you know see something different more so than anything. I've already been second guessing what I should have done with this yarn. I should have made a cardigan with it, but you know, that's it. But I got some purple yarn similar to this, and I have some pink yarn. And so whatever is left over in this, I'm gonna add it into my pink yarn, and I'll make like a pink um, cardigan with bits and pieces of this color in it. So hopefully it'll be like a Valentine's Day thing. That's what I'm going for. And this is my last pearl stitch because it's gonna be number 7. Should be number 7. I'm gonna go back and double check, and then it's not gonna take me that long to get up to about 3 feet, because then I'll be e-stitching the whole way, the rest of the way. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is 7. I just want to make a note that this is 7. So I'm gonna count by 5. Yeah, they go to 5 feet. The figure 8 looms go to 5 feet. So we'll be e-stitching pretty much from here on out, because I'm doing like the middle part of the blanket. Awesome. I thought about doing a hat to match this blanket. I didn't know how I was feeling on that yet. And right now I'm working on this blanket. I'm working on a crochet hoodie, and I'm working on a crochet plushie, and I'm loom knitting my kids um, some beanies. What's that? Yeah, that's my first E stitch. One, one. Let me make a note right here. Oh, okay, awesome. That's awesome. I can use the needles too. Um I just can't really make big projects. But I probably could have done something like this uh on the needles. I just didn't really think about it. I need to probably think about this being like my next project on the needles, because I haven't really played around with them. And the biggest I go on the needles is scarves and hats. And so I said I really didn't want to make blankets on the needles, but if I make it this way, I think it'll be fine for my brain. Okay, this is 3. I hope 3, 4. And the only reason why I don't really do it on the different things, different things, is because I have to count and try to keep up with rows. But yeah, there's that. Okay, that's 4. Yeah, cause like and it didn't take me that long to learn on the needles. I was getting ready to make hats. I wanted to make hats, and I thought, I needed a particular um set of needles to make hats. because of what I had found online. And I found out that all I had to really do was make a flat panel and then sew it together and make a hat. But at the time I didn't know, and I learned all that from loom knitting, and so that's the only reason why just really never really went back, because I got obsessed with making blankets, so I didn't necessarily go back to the needles. But I said this year I wanted to pick them back up. But the real problem was when, since I learned knitting first, it took me about 5 years to learn crocheting. So I'm making flat panels to make a baby blanket. So now I'm gonna start throwing in my little waist yarn I got over here. Let me find me some little longer pieces and try to do some contrasting colors. So I'm gonna count by fives because that's about all I can keep up with when I'm talking and thinking 100 things at a time. So I'm gonna put my little row counter right there and just hope that it stays in, because I think one came out yesterday while I was working on it. Supposed to use that off first. I'm so concerned with this one staying on that. Alright, this is row 6. I need to make a note that, let me try to pull this down. I need a small crochet hook to pull this down to this space. Just want to pull it down. And I want to jot down that this is 5. And that's, see, I learned knitting about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago. And I learned looming 10 years ago. And then I learned crocheting about 2.5 years ago. But I'm really like, cause I want to try out finger knitting this year, and I want to just go back to my knitting my knitting needles. This would be row 3. Uh-oh. Now I'm gonna start accidentally picking up the crochet hook, so I need to put that down. I need to put it away. So that should have been 3. That's the most annoying thing about making something sometimes for me, is having to count. That is what slows me down the most. This is 4. Because I get distracted so often. This is 5. Working on row 5. And this pen is getting on my nerves. Oh, I think I'm gonna file it in just a second because I'm not gonna be able to keep wrapping. I think the other pen that I had, I must have shaved it down some. Cause all right, this is 5. I'm gonna shave this down because this is getting on my nerves. Thank you, Buddha. I'm gonna try and hold this over here so that it doesn't get in the way, but I can't stand. This is getting on my nerves like really bad. The way the yarn is rubbing up against this. I have like a sensory issue, and so I'm trying to eliminate that annoyance. I think that'll work. Yes, that works a whole lot better. Okay, I think I can work with it now. All right, this is 5. Let me find me a stitch marker, and I was putting it right here. Take that. Filing. I wasn't filing the yarn. I'm filing the pen. I have a sensory issue, and the pen was getting on my nerves. I had to smooth down the jagged edge of the pen. You know, normally it probably wouldn't bother other people, but it was driving me nuts. Hook. That's one. I hope. 2, 3. And of course, you notice if you wanted to make like a scarf this way, you know, if I decide to like, no, I don't want to turn this to a blanket, I just make them all scarves, and that'll work. Because I might not be in the mood by the time it comes to mattress stitching these together. So I might just be like, oh, that looks pretty as a scarf. And I can just like, I know the E-stitch curls up, and so all I have to do is really add a crochet border to the sides and be done. I think that was 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 4. Oh, thank you, Fanetta. I hope so. I try. I try to put out as much information as I know. Especially when there's videos I can't find. I'm just like, I gotta make a video because I figured it out. Okay, that's 5 stitch marker. And then that stitch marker came out. Naughty. Okay, so where did I just put this head tab come from down here? Let me see. And I knew I don't want to put it like I might have to. All right, so we're gonna go to the other stitch markers because I'm not gonna do that tonight. I'm not gonna be fighting with yarn, but I'm using most of the stitch markers I have. So let me see. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do nothing else besides what I'm doing, and I just need the yarn to stay where I put it. Or I can just start just writing it down. Writing down every row I don't see it like. I know this marks row 15. So the pink is row 15. 15. And that was one. This is two. Three. Four. 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 Sometimes you gotta do whatever it takes to remember the number you're on. Five. I think I'm gonna have to come up with a song for counting. And it's gonna have to be a weird, funny song because it gotta stick in my brain while I'm counting. And that was 5. Stitch marker, yes. How are you, stitch marker? And I'm just really talking to keep my mind entertained. So sometimes, yeah, you get like a random. I'll make a random comment. Awesome. Thank you, D. Malloy. Good evening, Thrifty Crocheter. How are you? I'm struggling trying to keep count. And it's not necessarily because I'm having conversations. It's because I'm having conversations in my, you know, I'm thinking like about 50 different things. Was that right? Yeah, that was five. All right. No, no, no. Okay, so it's that. So I just gotta remember the pink is at 15. The pink is at 15. The pink yarn is at 15. That was one. This is two. I thought about doing this in a tube, but I know if I do it in a tube, it's gonna cost me even more yarn. So that was two. Um, it depends. So if you're using this thick yarn, probably like an hour or two. What's hold on. Wait, I lost count. One, two. I think that was two. Okay, that's two. I'm tripping. And if you're using four-way yarn, probably about 3 hours. But if you're double knitting works up faster. I've done like a 6 foot blanket in about 3 hours. I mean a double knit 6 foot scarf in about 3 hours. So, but I think I could have did a little bit faster. Three. Oh, that's gonna be nice, thrifty crocheter. That is too cute. I said I'm gonna start on the boys uh, um a blanket, and I'm gonna start on it this month. So I need to go and buy the yarn to get started. And theirs is gonna be variegated the because a solid, unless they want a solid color. But I think variegated be better. And so I'm gonna make them a blanket this year. You gotta do a garter stitch to keep it from curling, and that's the combination of the E stitch one row and the purl stitch on the next row. I think this is row 4. And I pretty much make all my blankets 90% of the time the same way. And I think that was 5. That should be 5. I just said that was 4. So let me grab a stitch mark. Why does the pink keeps coming out, and that's making me mad. So that was 15, and this is 20. I need to stop using this pink yarn apparently, because it's gonna make me mad. because that was marking 15. So the black was 20. Let's find a thicker yarn. I'm gonna take this and cut it up some, and that should help me out a little bit because I'm not no longer in burgundy. So I should have known though to use something thicker. Maybe I need to use two pieces. Me too. Me too. Thrifty crocheter. Me too. Like there, I always get asked about the comparison. I'm like, there's really is no comparison. You like them for different reasons. So I just prefer to just like them for different reasons, and I love them both. Okay, why am I doing that? Okay, because this is 5. So I'm just going to hopefully that takes me a good long way. Black is 20. Trying to remember that. And this number 5 yarn should stay because it's thicker than the number 4. So no, this, let's see, this was 10, 20, 25. We had 25. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is take out the other stitch markers and try and count by 30 so I don't have to deal with multiple stitch markers falling out. Come on. This is 2. Let's push this down in there. Get it out the way. Hopefully it stays. That's 2. We got 1. 3. 4. 5. 5. I think that was 5. I hope. Excuse me. two. Hi, Amalia. How are you? It's three. I'm making a baby blanket, but right now I'm making panels to sew together to make it. I think this is four. Gotta double check. All right, that's one, two. Yep, that's four. Four. Five. Yeah, I just say five. I don't need. Okay. One, two, three, four. Yep, that's five. So snip. It's just a little bit awkward because I'm used to working like in longer uh, segments or whatever before um, getting to a new row, and so it's kind of happening fast. And so that's what's really tripping me up the most is I'm used to making like a full row of um like about at least 60 to 80 stitches, and so it's harder for me to like keep up with the rows because they're happening for me out of perception based on past experiences. They're happening kind of fast. So that's why I'm struggling. I know y'all like, why is she struggling counting five? It's just the whole fact that I've made blankets for so long and I've never done them in panels. And so the to go from making like 60 plus stitches to only making like 15 at a time. I think this is one, two, three, four, five, six, 12 stitches at a time. It's a little bit, it's happening kind of fast. So I have to make sure I, you know, remember the count. I think this is two. And push that down there so it won't get it out the way. That is two. And I cut that screen too long. This is 3. 4. 5. Row marker. I'm sorry I can't translate, but I am making panels to make a baby blanket. That's what I'm working on. And this is a form of knitting. It's loom knitting. And everything that I'm using is tagged. Hi, Rose. How are you? This one. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm doing pretty good today. I've been chilling, trying to get warm. It snowed here, so 2. I hope you're staying warm too. Then 3. I'm trying to keep up with the rows. Thank you. I'm in Arkansas. It depends because I got like so many looms. But right now I'm using the ombre from Burnett blanket. It was 3. Are you what loom are you using? This is gonna be very different. Oh, okay, cool. That's good, Rose. Shannon was asking me where I was. That's who I was talking about. I was in Arkansas. Thank you, Emma. This is a form of knitting. I love crocheting too. I crochet too. I think this is 4. Oh, okay. Yes, yes. I got that one over there too. Are you using loops and threads? Because there's, you know how they're color coded. I know my blue one is from loops and threads. Well, this one is too, but that's like the only brand I pretty much use in wide gauge looms. Because the quality of the loom is like real good. So this is 5. Oh, you haven't? Wow. That's wow. Happy New Year then, Rose. Oh, okay, awesome. So you like loosen threads too? I love loosen threads. If it's not loosen threads, it is knitting board. So I like one or the other, preferably. I never really do any other brands. Although I have a lot of different I have a lot of different looms, but they've collected over the years and I learned from my mistakes. Oh, okay, awesome. You don't like the round one? I love the round ones too. So do you make like all of your things on like the one long loom? Because I was the reason why I'm asking because the round ones are mostly made for like the hats. So I was just curious if, as to how you make your hats if you don't like the round ones. I think that's one. Or you probably just use them and don't like them, of course. So I didn't think to think about that. So that's one. Oh, okay. I got you. I understand, Rose. Thanks for popping in on me. I appreciate you. See you next week. Yeah, I got you, Shannon. It's 2. I normally don't do a lot of counting, y'all, but I'm trying to make sure the panels equal out to be the same. And so I really hate counting. It's 2. But since I'm doing this, it's a necessary evil. I appreciate that, Rose. Bye. Oh, okay. So with that, there's a 10 stitch method that doesn't require sewing, and so I think it's mostly like the garter stitch in some type of way. And I keep saying I'm gonna try it myself, but it doesn't require sewing, and you can make like a really big blanket that way. So you may want to try that. I keep saying I want to know what the hype is. So one of these days I'll try it too. I just haven't felt the urge to pick up the hype yet. Right, cause that's why I like to like do it all at one time, cause that way I don't have to count anything. I get out my measuring tape. I'm like, yep, that works, and then I just let it go. Yes, I'm making a blanket right now. I'm trying to do like the panel thing. This is my first time doing a blanket with panels, so I typically just like to be one and done, like just on one loom and be done. But this time I was trying to get like I didn't want the horizontal changing color effect, and so I was trying to do it in more of a vertical sense and just hope it works out right. So I don't know. All I can do is hope, cause I'm feeling some type of way about it right now, but you know, hopefully when it starts to come together, it just be like, oh, that's so pretty. But I won't know until I get to that point of assembly. So, and I might just start assembling it now because it doesn't hurt to put like the other pieces together. To wow, I'm working on the other ones, so we'll see. I might do that. Start putting them together this week. Yeah, I've seen that too. I would like to make like the really chunky blankets, but I just know the yarn is expensive because I I bought that really big yarn and it costs like $25 a skein, and I'm just like, let's see, it's fire. And I bought two skeins before, and I made like a really big heart pillow out of it. And I got some more back there, but I found them on sale. I'm trying to think about what my yarn is. Is this gonna be too? If I cut it down the middle, something's telling me do not cut that. Don't cut it, don't cut it. Because then it might fall out easier. I need to see where I'm at because then I start counting different. I start recycling the row counters. No, I'm gonna mattress stitch them together. I got some cotton yarn, that real tough cotton yarn, and I'm gonna use it to put them together. I'm gonna mattress stitch them together. So that's one. I want to count real quick to see where I'm at because I'm about to recycle some of these row counters in a second. So this is 10, this is 20, this is 25, 30, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, good. I said I was going to take them all out at 50 and do another section of 50. I'm going to pull these out because I know for certain this is 50. And So now I'm gonna section it off by 50, and this is 50 up. This is I haven't counted that into it, but I have to get up to 188 stitches to meet the what I'm trying to get together. It's to count the rows to keep up with the rows. I'm a really bad counter, and I have ADHD, so I can really only to force myself to pay attention in segments of fives. So I put a piece of yarn in between every 5 rows to keep up with how many rows I've done. So this is two. The issue is to remember not to remove this one when I start that count again. Two, working on three. I need to move this because I don't want to lose those. This is four. Five. I started doing it because when I was making those twisted headbands, and I couldn't really keep up with counting the rows because I was doing it on the loom instead of the machine. I I started using the yarn instead because they do it in crochet, and so I was like, oh, that'd be cool to do in here. Well, on the loom. So that's how I kind of picked it up. I think that was five. So, and I knew I had a piece on my sleeve. Where did it go? Get off. That is one. The most I know how to do is sew like a pillow professionally. I've sewed an apron once, but I just remember all the steps of sewing the pillows. So that's that's about it that I can do on the sewing machine, and maybe try to hem up something. But that's about it. I always wanted to sew. I had a sewing machine, but somebody broke it, and it wasn't me. But yeah, that happened. So I just never replaced the sewing machine. I just started doing other craft stuff. And so my hopes is to like start crocheting my clothes like this year. I don't think it takes a lot of practice. It's fairly easy. The the only thing that it really like start to get you is when you start to make like different stitches. So right now I'm just using like technically I'm using two basic stitches, but I'm doing the garter stitch and the pearl stitch is a part of the garter stitch. So it only gets a little complex when you start to learn different stitches. But if you're just doing each stitch or making hats and scarves, it's pretty straightforward. It's a lot of repetition. Hi, 12 tribes. How are you? The box pattern, probably not. I this is my first time hearing about the box pattern. Cause like in the past, about 5 years, I'm no, in the past 2 or 3 years, I haven't really tried to like look up different like patterns and things in a while. I've just been making like blanket, 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 blanket. Yeah, the purple thing is a loom. This is a form of knitting. Well, for me, I guess yeah, you can say that. Initially, it took a lot of patience for me, but now it's like for me, it's more so second nature now that I've been doing it for so long. I don't really think about all the time that has to be put into it. So I get a lot of questions about how long does it take me to make stuff, but I've been making it for so long. I'm just like I've stopped keeping up with the time of how long it takes me to make it, and every once in a while I'll try to because I get asked, but I try to keep that in the back of my mind because it'll only probably frustrate me if I actually realize how much time it takes me. Yeah, I have some finished ones. This one I typically don't really keep the blanket burn that blanket yarn blankets very long. I've sold all those, but all I have is number four yarn blankets right now, and so I don't have any thick ones. So this is about all that I can pretty much show. No, I've never tried the box pattern. I've this is my first time hearing about the box pattern. So this, thank you. This blanket will come out to be pretty much the same as this one. It just be thicker yarn. And so when I get to that point and sew them together, it pretty much look the same on the way it does here on the front. Thank y'all. So yeah, this is what I'm working towards with what I'm doing. Thank you. And so this one is usually done on like uh, my white KB Afghan, and then my nail is driving me nuts to keep girl yarn. This one is a mixture of the garter stitch and the E stitch. And it's usually it's done on the white KB Loom too. And I'll show y'all one more, and then I'm gonna go back to doing what I'm doing. And the neon one was self striping. That's self striping too. And then I did this one. Yes, very addictive, very addictive. That's why I was like, I try not to think about how long it takes because it especially when you have self striping yarn, it gets really addictive because I'm like I love to see how the colors play out because you never fully know how the colors are gonna play out, and so that's why I like to use a lot of variegated yarn, and it helps me like through the process. Thank you. Somebody requested this one, and I was questioning, like, cause to me it's like a silver and goldish going on. But after I made it, I was like, oh, it kind of reminds me of like the moon and the sun, and so yeah, I was like, that works. But yeah, now this one I had to put the colors together, but I don't typically like changing colors. But you know, if I have to, then I'll do it. But I don't really like changing colors. Mm, That's four. One more, I think. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate that. Four. Okay, one more. Make it five. There is um in your community area of your YouTube, there's a place to post pictures there. That's why I post my pictures. And then it might be if you're it's it might be based on followers. I don't know. No, I don't think so because I think my I got another YouTube channel that I'm working on and I barely have any followers on that one. So I think I was able to post pictures on that one too. So I think it's just in a community. It when you click on when you click on uploading, the one for the photos says just post. So I think that's the way you get to it. There's live, there's post, there's short, and then there's video. Videos, for long term video, long form videos or whatever. But yeah, I think that was five. Yeah, stitch marker. I think I'm gonna go up to 25 for this one. Oh, if I have enough stitch. Awesome. I haven't even scratched that surface. I probably done. I started making blankets in 2020, and I'll just say I've probably done maybe 20 to 50. That's about it. I haven't even scratched that surface. Now the total of items I've made probably that amounts to that, but as far as blankets and all that stuff, nah. That's small. Come on, stop it. It act like it didn't want to wrap right. This is two. Hey, Amalia, how are you? Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. That is three, three. I'm making a baby blanket. I'm right now. I'm making panels to sew together to make a baby blanket. I think this is five. Oh, okay. You were wanting to. Gotcha. You want to do it that way. I someone tagged me in a post. They posted something and they were able to tag me in it. So if you want to try that, that'll be fine. And I also have several different social media. So I have Facebook, Insta, and you won't be able to send me a photo on TikTok, but I have that too. I'm trying to make sure I'm not going over this five. One, two, three, four, five. Yep, that's five. Oh, oh, no problem at all. Mine's is Doretha, and I tend to get Dorothea. Like they skip over the whole. I guess they say DORE is door, and then it's THA, and so they add the E to the end of it. So I tend to get Dorothea. The weirdest name I've gotten was Dorothea, and so I was like, you know, the guy was an older person, and so I just let him have it. So I was just like, I know my name doesn't look like that. And so I just let the person, I was like, well, that's your nickname for me because at this point, if you got Dorothea from Doretha, I was just like, you know, I was done. And when he finally figured out what my name was, he was like, why didn't you correct me? I'm like, well, I've never heard Dorothea, so I just let you have it. I just let you call me that because I was like, I at that point I didn't know what to say. I think I was more shocked than anything. So The first day I heard it, I didn't correct him, and it was kind of funny each time after he called me. But I never said anything to anybody about it because we were in like public places when he would say, Dorothy, how are you? Because at this point, it's like I'm tired of correcting people. Is right, you know, just let them have it. Because to be honest, I've looked up like the origins of Doritha, and there's so many different versions, but they all mean the same. And they say your name has a meaning. So I'm just like, whatever, Dorothy. I've gotten Dorothy. So I'm just like, whatever, Dorothy, Dorothea. It's all kind of originated from the same thing. So whatever. It's so crazy how your name is like, even if like nobody really thinks about it, if you look up your name and look up the meaning of your name, is like you kind of encompass it for the sum of the parts. So that's why I try not to trip on it that much. And then like my last name is James, and somebody been calling me something else at the school that I work at. And I'm just like, I just look and say, okay, whatever. James is really not that hard at all compared to Doretha. Michaels. This is Loops and Threads by Michaels, and this is the preference. This is my preference for wide gauge looms. This is a boy, and I always try to make sure I can show them comparatively on live. This one, if you look at the bottom of it, the pegs are glued in from the top, and this one is not. So this one, the actual pegs is a part of the loom, and so I like to use these more. These I broke a lot when I first started because of the I didn't know how to control tension. So these, even if the tension is horrible, this is like it's part of the loom. So I'm really like more comfortable doing something really tight and on that one. But I tagged all the products in the live too. So this is one of those that I tagged on here. But I got it. Michael's Lucid Threads is exclusively at Michael's. I've seen it on here on like the Walmart tab, but I don't know. I would say maybe you can because it is Walmart. It's two. I'm trying to remember what stitch I'm on. I mean what row I'm on. Excuse me. I think my acid reflux is acting up today. What did I eat? I guess I ate too much food. Could probably be the reason. Ooh, okay. So let's say I was making a 6 foot scarf. It would probably take back in the day. It would probably take me 5 to 6 hours, and now it takes me about 3 hours. Like it speeds up the process so much. No, I've tried to look for loosened threads on Amazon. You can try it, but I didn't find it on there. They're like a brand by Michaels is what I'm thinking. And Michaels is trying to do like their own like makers thing, or they're trying to do their own social media type thing where they got DIY videos and stuff like that. So I think they're not in a hurry to like sell it on different companies' websites because they're trying to keep it, exclusively to them. Because I've tried to look up loosened threads yarn on Amazon too, and it's not on there either. 1, 2, 3. But you can try it. Just I would say if it's on there, if loops and threads is on there, it's probably being sold by someone who's trying to like, um, they're trying to resell it or something. If you do find any loops and threads stuff on there. That's 4. But yeah, and then for me, I have overactive wrist. So technically, I'm supposed to wear these 24/7, but I really don't wear it when I'm doing like knitting or crocheting. But yeah, so my overactive wrists make it difficult to do the do the do the wrapping and stuff by hand and all that stuff. So and I have arthritis in my hands too. So it makes it a whole lot easier to do it when you're having difficulties with your limbs. Or more specifically your flanks. That's 5. I need a row marker. Oh, no problem at all, Samantha. It's been like very few people that say that they rather use like their hands instead. You know how you get because I'm that type of person. If I do something for so long and it's not broken, I'll pretty much stick to it. But yeah, it's very few people that'll say no. I'd rather not use the wrapping tools and just use my hands instead. Like for me, I have like I'll put these right here. I have these as well. I tend to get asked about those too, and they're double hooks, and I personally can't use them because I don't really like them. They yeah. I have the double hooks, and then I have the one that's supposed to be made for people with like arthritis and stuff, and I don't like it either because it makes my wrist angry. So I don't necessarily use those either. But all the tools that I pretty much use are KB based. So if you bought like different brands of looms, if you don't do anything else, if you don't decide to change your brand or whatever, I'm gonna recommend that you at least get a wrapping tool and use KB hooks. KB hooks are the best. I went through a lot of different hooks, and from every company, I always put those up, and I find my KBs, and I have about six of them because every loom comes with a hook, and this one like these two. If I hold them up closer, you'll see that this one is a little bit more pointier than this one is. So I like using KB more, and this one came from like my green loom, but this one is my favorite one. It's more quality. Me too, Samantha. Me too. I move very slowly, and it's part of the ADHD thing. I move really slowly. Like there's been times because I do the garter stitch at the beginning. If I'm working on a full blanket, say the blanket is at least 3 feet wide, and I'm doing like this part of the blanket takes me the longest. It takes me anywhere between 2 and 4 hours if the blanket is longer than this. Like if it's 3 feet in length, this takes me like this little part right here takes me about 2.5 hours to do alone. And so if I'm working on this area, this part of the blanket, if I was doing like up to 3 feet, this part of the blanket would take me about 3 hours. So I try not to get people to gauge on what how long it takes me to make it because my attention span is short, and so I'm bound to like fall asleep. I've literally fell asleep in the middle of a garter stitch part of the blanket because that part is like really boring to me, and so I've fallen asleep and everything. So right now, because I'm doing it in short spurts, I haven't had the need to be sleepy. And I also work on a lot of different smaller projects while I'm working on bigger projects. So that helps out a lot because I need like that gratification or like the success of completing something. And if you're working on a blanket for like 30 days and you ain't took it off the loom yet, that can be kind of depressing to put in so much work on one project and don't have nothing to show for it after about 30 days. So I work on like hats and plushies and stuff on the side um when I'm not doing my looms. So I can get that satisfying like, oh, I did something today. I completed something in a couple of days this week. So I think it's a necessary to like have multiple projects going on because you need that. You need to like see something completed. That's like the push to keep going instead of having something that you've been working on for so long and it's not done yet. But I work really slow, so I have to like do a lot of things in the meantime. Yes, yes. Right now, I'm working on. I don't know if you were in here earlier. I'm working on a plushie and a hoodie, and I'm loom knitting. I'm crocheting the hoodie and the plushie, and I'm loom knitting some beanies for my kids. So that's about the only thing I can get them to be like, okay, you can make me something. One, two, three. The plushie, which is driving me nuts. Is this what I'm working on, and I'm freehanding it, so there's that. And so this has been a long time coming. Hey, Sister Some Soul, how are you? So this one I'm working on the side, y'all. And I gotta get it done soon because she's been waiting on it since October. And then she messaged me that yesterday. She thought I was done with it. And I was like, no, not quite. And so I'm like, I'm trying to go ahead. I would like to get it done by this week coming up because we're snowed in right now. So I have time to get it done. And I might have to go in to work Monday. So I would like to get it done tomorrow, to be honest, because I'm thinking that's gonna be my first pattern release. I think this was 5. I'm gonna double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not 5. That's 4. All right. All right. Row marker. I'm gonna put this row on here, and then I'm gonna go back. I need to go back and count at least at the top of the hour. So I'm gonna put this stitch marker right here, and then I'm gonna count. It needs to come through a little bit more. Okay, there's one. So I'm gonna slide it down off the middle. Okay. So this is 50. This is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, we've made it to 25. So I think I'm gonna pull these out. I'm trying to recycle the yarn. I, and I might just need to fold up. Let me see what I got over here. Fold up some longer threads and make it. No, that's not gonna work. I'm sick of this yarn attaching to my stuff. Let me see, I got something over here. This'll work. This'll work. I'm gonna double it up because it's really gonna work. Okay. Maybe if I do about 3 of these together. Let's see, that's a nice piece. That's a nice piece. And that's a nice piece. So that's gonna go on my next piece. My next row. I'm gonna set that right there. I'm trying to find because I know the longer it gets, I'm gonna have to start sectioning it off a little bit better. So I'm gonna put this on the next row. All right. So that's one. Y'all, just to let y'all know, this is um, my hour notification. So I have an hour left on live. This is row two. Uh-oh. Row three. Four. Five. One, two, three, four, five. If I was counting in the even row, it would probably be easier for me to count because then the stitches should end up on the same end. Mm, one, put you down up in there. Uh-oh. One, two, 3, 1, 2, 3. Four, 5. Mm, that one kind of makes me nervous. Kind of short. Right. Someone purple. All right, that's one. I'm sorry, Teresa, I can't translate, so I'm just gonna answer the questions that I typically get. I am making flat panels to match your stitch together for a baby blanket. Um, this is a form of knitting, which is loom knitting, and the yarn is by Bernat Blanket Ombre, the ombre color. It's a burgundy ombre color. That's two. And the loom I'm working with is a long loom. You can get them even bigger. But yeah. This is 3. 'Pull that down in there. All right, 3. 4. Five. Row counter. It's an old clicking office pen. You can use a straw too. And there's an actual Lumen pen, but I personally, if you can make a, if you can use a straw or hollow out a pen you got laying around the house, I don't really think the pen is worth it. But I did buy one just out of curiosity, but I don't really feel like it was worth it. Is that this kind of short one? Need to be careful with that one. It might fall back out. So that's one. No problem at all, Carmen. All right, that's 2. The counting is really slowing me down because when I wasn't counting, I was able to get up like I was already at 3 feet by the end of live. So the counting is like just I really don't like counting, but to make sure everything turns out right, I have to 1, 2, 3. Did one of them come out? Because why am I looking at a picture? God, shut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like I thought one of them came out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be right here. No, no, no. I knew it was kind of short, but I used it anyway. So it's just gonna have to work for right now. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. All right. And I'm on one, two, three, four, 5. Come on. 3, 4, 5. Okay. That's right. Yeah. So whenever I do mines, if I'm doing it all E stitch, I always skip like that first peg to make it more even. But I do the rest of them. I think I said 5. Let's see. So it depends on what type of stitching I'm doing. So if I was doing like pearl stitching, I wouldn't even do the first or last peg. But um but let me change that. If I were doing um yeah, that's right. I'll be slip stitching the first or last peg if I was doing all pearl stitching. It just does the edges look cleaner when you do like a slip stitch. So that's what I typically do on the end stitches. It's more so a slip stitch than a stitch. That's one. So like for right now, I'm getting ready to skip that one because I'm doing a hockey stitch. Oh yeah, yeah, that. So I learned at first I would like knit off like starting at the peg that that I ended with, and I found out that if you pull it too hard or pull it too much, even like I'm not even pulling it that hard. But if I pull it too hard and I go over decide to go over to like the second stitch, it loosens up quite a bit. So I always do like I knit off first. The last peg I wrap, I knit it off first, and then I start on the opposite end because of the yarn tugging loosely, making I'm trying to keep like the stitches consistent. So I knit off first on the last peg that I wrapped, and then I start over from the beginning where I started it, and it makes the stitches more consistent when I do that. So I try to remember to do it the whole time, because every once in a while um I get off and accidentally do something different, but I try to stick to that same the same way I typically do it. I have to do stuff in a certain order because if that way if I get off track, I know I'm off track. So I do like the same repetitious mode like every time I loom it to make sure that I don't forget anything. So I knit off a certain way, I wrap a certain way or whatever, just to make sure that if my hands do something different while I'm not thinking about it, I'm like, wait, something felt wrong. So I have to loom it in that way to where I try to remember. So this is me knitting off on the last peg I just wrapped, and then I'm gonna start over on this end where I started it because it's gonna keep the stitches more consistent when I do that. I tried to make sure I explained it while I was doing the motion so that everybody knew what we were talking about. Yeah, no problem, Carmen. And like right now, I'm trying to, cause I've been working on beanies, and I'm trying to get that ladder stitch out of the beanie, and I found that knitting off on the the last peg that I wrapped, then wrapping the first peg, then going back and knitting off. Knitting off on the last peg I wrapped, then knitting off the first peg, then going back and knitting off the next to last peg. It kind of decreases like that ladder stitch you get with hats, and then I go back to like the second stitch and just keep going because I'm trying to get rid of that too because that drives me nuts. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. Okay. You grabbing yarn. Hi, Lice. How are you? Oh, no problem, Carmen. Got a little something in there. I Part of me is like, I just wish I wasn't so darn picky about stuff. I can be very like crafty OCD. Like I have it bad. Like I want to control everything about it while I'm doing it. All right, I think that's five. One, two, three, four, five. All right, so this is gonna go right here. I said I'm doing this because I'm gonna go back and pull it all anyway. Which these aren't really matching in, but this is number four yarn, and so I've been using five to put it in there. If I use just one strand of number four yarn, it slides out easier. So I'm using, I could have used two and it should be fine, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use three, just to whatever, you know. Awesome, thank you, and that's good. You're doing good. Welcome in. Uh oh. So this is gonna be one of five, and let me try to stick those down off in there because I don't want to have to deal with all that. I really need to buy some more stitch markers, but you know, well, no, I don't need to buy any more. I need to find them, but I do need some more Loom knit stitch markers. That's what I absolutely need. So while I'm on that topic, if you are loom knitting, you need these two. These are like loom knit stitch markers. So not all looms come with like this post, and my the wider the loom, the wide looms do, but most of KB looms don't. And I'm trying to locate one real quick. Oh, these are, thank you, focus. These are KB looms, and they typically do not. If you notice, I got like a hairband, rubber band on there. But if you notice, they don't come typically with a stitch marker, like you know. So you're gonna need these if you plan on doing like more difficult projects. Well, really, you need these to make hats, so you can know where your starting and stop point is too. So if you get KB looms like this, you'll need a stitch marker like immediately. But if you're not and you're just making wider gauge projects, most of them come with a starter. Um, this is a anchor peg. Most of them come with an anchor peg. So, but if you're using smaller gauge looms, they typically don't. So you'll need a stitch marker. So it's basically what's your preference? What are you trying to do with the loom? So I try to ask that when I get questions in the comments on the videos. I'm like, I've gotten in the habit now. I'm like, okay, what are you trying to make with the looms before I tell you, what you need, because I don't want you to waste your money, because I wouldn't want to waste mine, and I want somebody to tell me what specifically I need for what I'm trying to do. That is two, two, two. And then after I do these three more rows, I need to count how many rows I have and move some row markers around. This is three. Uh-oh. Four. Oh, okay. I got you, life. I don't blame you. Because when I say I just wish I would have had somebody to tell me everything before I ended up with about 30 looms years later. I just wish I would have been, I would have had somebody been like, nope, don't buy that. You don't need to buy that. Because I only used like, about 15 of them. Right. Well, in the past year, I've only used about 10 of them. But all together, I've used them initially, but I only consistently really use about 15 of them, maybe. That may be generous. Let me see. That looks like one, two, three, four, five. Five. Okay, let me see where we are. So this is my section of 50. This is my section of 25. Oh, definitely. I've done a lot of that over the past month. I've done a lot more crochet this year than it was wild. All right, so this is 50. Remove that piece of yarn. 50. This is 25, and this should be another set of 25. So don't count this area. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, so this is 25. We're gonna pull these out, and don't pull this one out. No, pull this one out because that makes 50. Yeah, that's right. Move that right there. I don't wanna. So this is 100 rows. This 50, and this is 50, and that's not including this. I didn't count this. So that's 114 technically. If I count this as 114 rows so far, and I have to get to, right now, I just need to focus on getting to 174. So I'm at 114, so I got about 60 more rows to do. I think that's how I did it. I hate when I do that. I second guess, like, I'm like, that's what I did. But yeah, I'm almost certain that's what I need to do. 60 more rows. Oh my gosh, by golly. By golly gee. Wrong end. Stop acting up. Oh, I forgot to put the stitch marker right here. By golly gee. Alright. Stitch it down. This is a form of knitting, and more technical is loom knitting. And this is a long loom that I'm working on. And I'm making panels to sew together to make it into a baby blanket. Thank you. They look like a whole bunch of scarves, so so I'm making panels. I'll let y'all kind of get an idea of what I'm doing here. So this is one panel course, and then this is another middle panel, and then this is a side one. This one is gonna be shorter than that one, those because of the stitches. This is a looser stitch than this is. So when I start to sew them together, they'll come together. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Hey Lola, thank you. I hope you're doing. I hope things are going well for you out in California because I know it's the wildfires are crazy. So I hope you and your family are doing well. I'm trying to put them back a certain way, y'all. I'm so picky. Thank you, Cindy. I'm trying to keep the stitch and the E stitch on the outside, so that's why it's a little awkward right now. Yeah, back over there. I'm trying to keep them. I'm trying to put it where y'all can kind of see the colors without them being like too messy and in the way. Trying to make it visually appealing more so than messy. 1, 2. 3. Four. Stitch is kind of loose, so I don't need to pull on them too hard. 5. Yeah, I got about 20 more minutes. I meant to say I had 30 minutes at the 30-minute mark, but I got distracted. So That's fine. Just roll kind of right there. And there are apps for counting rows, but as it seems, I'm using my phone, and I need to find my other phone too. So, 'cause I had all the apps downloaded on that one, so I hate to find out what I did with it, so I can stop making notes on this paper because I misplaced it a lot. This is a old pen that I took everything out of and threaded the yarn through. You can use a straw too, and there's an actual Lumen pen. If you look it up on, if you decide to like look it up online and maybe find a Lumen pen, I personally don't feel like it's necessarily needed. If you could just find an old pen around the house or a straw, so I didn't feel like it was worth buying the pen. I bought it out of curiosity. No problem. That's true. Yes. Um, it's a PO box. Um, Message me on like my one of my socials. Like I got a social on like Facebook, Insta, and TikTok. So message me on one of those, and I'll give it to you. Or my email will be fine too. It's those craft day at Gmail. That's my business email, and I'll give it to you that way too. All right, this is one, two, three, 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 three. It seemed like everything wanted to slide out my hand right then. And all my socials, if you guys are interested, are are linked on here. This is five. Oh, Row marker. Sometimes in life, you just gotta be happy with progress. Any progress is better than no progress. Hi, Elena. How are you? That smooth operator song been stuck in my head all day too. I hope okay is good. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I think no, that's one. I'm not. I normally don't push it down, so it's like kind of restricted me. I normally don't get the little piece of um scrap yarn in there the first row. So I have to make sure that was on one row. I'm making flat panels to sew together to make a baby blanket. I was thinking about going ahead and getting this done this week because I would just like to get it done because ain't no point in dragging it out. Because I want to get started on a cardigan or another baby blanket, but in a different way. So I've been trying not to, as far as looming goes, I've been trying not to like make too many looming projects at one time. So I just been trying to make sure I complete them before I move on. Cause I've been pretty much completing all my crochet projects because they're customs. This is please. It's bothering me. I got about 15 more minutes, y'all. Is that Natalie? Thank you. I hope I pronounced it right. One, two, three. Is that three? Yeah. Well, typically, This is like a longer process. Typically, it takes um about 12 hours to make a baby blanket, but I'm trying to go for a different look, so I'm doing something that takes a little longer to do. I've never made one this way with the flat panels. I typically do like all my blankets in one sitting. It was nice to meet you too, Lice. I appreciate you for coming in and hanging out with me and keeping me company. One, two, three, four. That's one more row. One more row to go for this five. Since I said something about smooth operators, really stuck in my head now. I'm about to start making blankets where I just do all E-stitch and crochet the border, cause like at this point it really don't make a difference. 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on. I wanna move on. I'm making flat panels to sew together to make a baby blanket. Hey, Chandrick. I'm doing good. How are you? Yeah, I got about 10 more minutes left. I need to go ahead and push that piece down because it's going to get on my nerves. Yes, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, crap. Now, when I said 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, now I got the schoolhouse rock stuck in my head. They typically come in sets. So depend what size are you is it for an adult or for a child? And are you using thick yarn or are you using number 4 yarn? What type of loom are you using? Because I think I'm gonna set this down real quick so I can like give you the rundown. What? Okay. So these are KB, and I'm gonna go grab my loops and threads looms. so I can make sure I'm giving you the right information. So, and try to keep myself together as I do it. I don't have one of my loans with me. It's in the house. All right, cause I have locks and I tend to make okay, yeah. So I would go for like if you got a set of looms, I would typically go for like the largest one. Cause I've been making heads for people with locks and stuff, and I know this one is really huge, but they're pretty much this one will pretty much come out the same um width as this one is, but this one is 72. Are you using which one of these are you using? The small one or the wide one? Cause I'm torn between that one because these two are the same. So maybe this one and this one, and not necessarily this one. So maybe these two. Whichever one of these that you have, this one is 36 pegs, and this one is 72. So maybe this one. But my kids have dreads too, and there's a loom that's bigger than this one that I'm using for theirs. So I'm using like the 82. It's 80 something pegs on the other one. This one is 72. I'm trying to remember what the other one has. I think it's like 80 something pegs I'm using for. Okay, so you got this one then. I would recommend this one because I got locks and um no, I don't know. I'm trying to think because I got locks and my kids have locks. So maybe this one right here, because the I'm using a bigger one of these, and I'm using it because my boys have locks, and I was gonna try it on their head to see if um if they were comfortable with the really big one. So this one this question I don't know for certain, but any one of your two biggest ones, to be honest, I'm for them, I'm gonna let them try it on after the fact, and then I'll just downsize. I rather make it too big than make it too little. So this would be my first time. Okay, so they got an afro. Gotcha. Yep, this one. Not the 36 one, but the I didn't even count this one. No, yes I did. The 47 one. The 41. This one 41. And this one is 36. So the one with the 41 pegs is what I would use indefinitely. But I got these are my KB looms, and I have one even bigger than this one, and it it fits. I know it'll fit over afro. I'm trying to find. I thought I had four of these. Maybe I'm tripping. Cause this came with a baby knit loom. That's why I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. I found the baby knit loom. It's driving me nuts. Oh, there it is. That's my baby knit loom. So all of those are KB, and this is loops and threads. But I got another one of these in the house. that I'm working on. So it's not out here. Oh, no problem, Chandrik. Chandrik. Oh, I don't know where, I don't know where you know. Either way, I'm about to get off, y'all. It is 11 o'clock here, and I got church in the morning. So I hope you guys have a very good weekend. And when I mattress stitch these together, I'll probably do it like on a video. I don't want to necessarily do it on here. I want a video thing for it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope to see you guys on next Saturday. If we don't get in, well, I'm here and we got snow. I was about to say if we don't get any snow, it don't stop me from walking out my house. Unless my air is not working out here. But yeah, I am lingering too long and rambling on. And yeah. Good night. See y'all next weekend.